Nothing happens to any man which he is not formed by nature to bear. And it's kind of just going over this principle. I think it's in the beginning before all the bad stuff starts to happen to him. But it's this idea that we can't always control our situation, but we can control our mind and attitude.
And in that first scene that you were talking about with the wheat and the birds, I interpreted it as that was like his haven. That was his house. That's like his bigger picture idea was to go there. And he had been away from home for 3 years. So that was probably the only thing that was keeping him sane, is to like imagine, okay, I'm doing this for this reason. And not everyone has that, where they can be like, okay, I'm doing this because I want this in the future. And so it can be really hard to keep going and to put your best foot forward if you don't have something that you're looking forward to.
And so it is a fool's errand to think that it is something that you want, because if it is something that you want, you're going to be using it for the wrong reasons. Like, it should be like a heartache, a huge burden, something that you literally do not want to do. If you're doing it right, that's what it will feel like. If you think it's going to be awesome, you're going to be using it for all the wrong reasons. And that's what Marcus Aurelius saw in his son. He brings up the 4 Stoic virtues, which is the foundation of Stoicism. And I actually have a coin to help me remember them. They're pretty sweet. He makes the mention, he's like, you say these 4 virtues are important, and they're 4 virtues that I don't have. And he like tries to plead with him that he has these other ones. But the 4 virtues are courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance. From Marcus Aurelius' viewpoint, if you live your life by these 4 principles, you can have a good, awesome life. And I'll just explain them real quick. But courage is the ability to fight for the right thing, the balance between recklessness and cowardice, but right in the middle, the ability to fight for the right thing. Justice is to choose the right thing. You don't want to have courage for the wrong things, which you can't have. Yeah, discernment, right? And then wisdom is the want to learn and apply the right things. So you have to know the right things in order to choose the right things and to have courage for the right things. So you don't want to be ignorant, because if you're ignorant, you can also be led the wrong way. And then the other one is temperance, which another way to say that is balance or moderation, which means that to have the right amount of right things and to avoid the wrong things. These all tie in to each other, right? So you have to have courage to say no to the wrong things, to not do them, to do the right things, but not indulge. You have to, justice and wisdom are tied, because in order to do the right thing, you have to know the right thing. So they kind of like all interlope into each other. I really think it's important to have like a guiding principle. People or society will bring up often that we shouldn't just rely on our own. We need some type of outer like guiding principle. You could even say something greater than yourself, and that's kind of also what shows in the movie as well, right? When it was just about him, he just wanted to give up. But then when it became about all the people to his right and left, the people of Rome, then he was able to like rise up and do what was needed to be done. So again, if you just rely on yourself, you'll most likely be in a survival mindset, because again, you're only worried about your own needs. And then we see that as well when it comes to family. When you do stuff for your family, it just takes you to another level. And just having like some principles to guide you so that you can focus on the right things is extremely important. And I think these are pretty dope. And these are all demonstrated in the movie in one way or another, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, another great quote from the movie that he says, what you do in this lifetime will echo in eternity forever. And that's the idea of legacy and living life beyond your own death.